Asylum Inc. presents Fractured Reflection, a lost reality short. Jake had always been an easygoing guy, the kind who floated through life, never questioning much. When he got his hands on Lost Reality and its slick VR glasses, it felt like the next logical escape from the monotony of everyday life. Plugging in, he was greeted by breathtaking vistas, hyper-realistic detail, and the freedom to do anything. At first, the virtual world was a playground. Everything he couldn't be in the real world, he became inside the game. The immersion was perfect, almost too perfect, but then the glitches began. It started small, a flicker here, a blurred object there. A voice, not quite his own, whispering his thoughts. Jake dismissed it, telling himself it was just part of the game's mechanics. But as the days went by, the line between the game and reality started to waver. He'd catch himself staring at his reflection in the mirror, watching as his face rippled like digital code, unsure if it was him or the avatar. At night, in the quiet of his apartment, shadows moved in the corners of his vision, slithering out of his peripheral view, like the ones he had fought in Lost Reality just hours before. Soon, Jake was losing track of time. He wasn't sure if he was awake or still in the game. Days blended together, each more indistinguishable than the last. He stopped going out with friends, stopped eating regular meals. All that mattered was returning to Lost Reality. But each time he logged back in, the world greeted him with more hostility. NPCs that once greeted him warmly now muttered cryptic messages, their eyes hollow and accusing. The places that were once beautiful and bright had taken on a sickly, decayed sheen. And that voice, it was louder now, insistent, not just a part of his thoughts anymore, but something darker, something alive. Jake's sleep became a battleground. In his dreams, the walls of his room melted into the game's landscapes. Figures made of static clawed at his skin, dragging him into an abyss of digital code. When he woke up, he couldn't be sure if he was still dreaming. The boundary between virtual and real had fully collapsed. He tried taking off the glasses, but the game followed him. Every reflection, every surface showed him pieces of lost reality. His phone buzzed with messages he didn't remember sending, conversations that seemed to be from characters inside the game. The whispers were no longer just thoughts, they were commands. One morning, Jake stood in front of the mirror, watching as his reflection morphed before his eyes, flickering between his real face and the hollow digital visage of his in-game avatar. The whispers told him the only way out was to go back in, but he knew now there was no in or out anymore. His reality was gone, swallowed whole by the game, and with it, whatever was left of his sanity. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this Asylum Inc. presentation.